really in my zone. All my niggas getting cheese like it's provolone. They ain't with us out the bottom, so they'll never know. Even through trial and error, gotta keep yourself composed. Feel like me, little bitch, I'm chasing all my dreams. I couldn't.
Yes, welcome back to another video on the Big Steph channel. We're here after Arsenal's devastating 2-0 defeat at the Emirates to Aston Villa, and what could possibly be very, very detrimental to our title hopes. And I'm here with
Orlando. How you doing today, man?
You already know Orlando. It's a tough result, but first I want to get into the lineup. The lineup for me, honestly, was a very intriguing one. I was very, very excited to see how the attacking players were going to get on. Seeing Zinni in the side, seeing Jesus in the side with Trossard, with Havertz. What are your feelings about the lineup, firstly?
I mean, it's kind of a lineup I expected. Maybe Martinelli being starting instead of Trossard is one thing that I probably would have switched if I was in charge. But again, we're not in training with them, so I don't know what Martinelli's fitness is because he's still coming back. So I wasn't too disappointed with the lineup. If anything, I was more disappointed with how slow he was to react to making changes. After you noticed in the second half, I felt like the first 20 minutes in the second half, you could see that we were losing the control that we had in the first half, which was the only positives I was really taking out of the first half yep. Because we weren't getting the better goal scoring opportunities. We didn't, find a way to get anything that was on target. And then when we did it, we found Emilio Martinez every single time. So I feel like the best chances came from them. So I felt like I wasn't disappointed with the starting lineup. I was just more disappointed with Mikel Arteta's adjustment in the game. I feel like he waited a little bit too long. And then the changes he made, unfortunately, it took the balance in the opposite way. He went for it, and that openness led us to, concede 2 late goals.
Yeah, I agree. You touched on the changes. I thought the changes for me that really hurt Arsenal today was Martin Odegaard coming off. Talking to you in the bar, you did mention Trossard as well. Trossard being able with that defensive work rate, and we talked about him looking a bit leggy. What subs for you really impacted this game and really shifted the balance of this tie?
I was actually cool with all the subs. I just felt Jorginho wasn't the right player for this game. I did want Declan Rice to go into the 8 because I feel like Declan Rice would have gave us more control and the ability to keep them pinned at the top end of the pitch, which we did see in the sequence where they weren't able to come out. But I feel like Jorginho's lack of mobility exposed us. And again, it was his pass that he tried to, again, that's what we put him on for. We want him to be more decisive, and maybe he is more creative than a Thomas Partey. But again, you can see when he makes a mistake like that, now you're asking Jorginho to get back, and he's just not going to get back. And now we're outnumbered. And as you saw, Emil Smith Rowe was actually a little bit further than Jorginho when he made that pass, and he was the one that ended up catching up. So, I just feel like Thomas Partey would have gave us the ability to keep that balance, keep the control, but still find a way to get more forward. But Declan Rice being more free.
And it's a bit tricky. And I want to touch on the Leon Bailey goal. 3 people for me that have been absolutely outstanding this season: Declan Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel. Sleeping for a ball crossing the 6-yard box. Something even just last week, you wouldn't be able to say. Do you think this side has a bit of fatigue in it? Is that what you're sensing?
I don't know if I'm sensing fatigue or just teams are figuring out what works against us. Ever since the Porto game, it's been very noticeable that every team has played a very similar strategy. It's the same thing that happened to us last season. Teams figure you out. You're in the Premier League, you're in the Champions League. These are the best leagues in the world with some of the best talents in the world, and players and coaches know how to adapt. So I feel like we just have to get ready for teams allowing us to have the ball now, because I feel like a lot of teams are allowing us to have the ball, and knowing that we're a really good out-of-possession team, they don't want us in that phase, because our best attacking creation opportunities always seem to come from us, creating a turnover high up the pitch and then getting players like Martinelli or Trossard or, Saka in open space to then have 4v4s, 4v3s, 3v, But I feel like teams have noticed that, and they've been kind of more just like, hey, have the ball and allow us to play counter, and we just got to figure out how to break down teams better.
And I think we've seen that, because the lack of us using that right hand side today, I thought was to our detriment. We hardly created anything second half. Our ability not to let Bukayo Saka a bit more free really cost us. But no, we know it's a crushing result. We move on to Wednesday's massive game against Bayern at the Allianz. A huge game. Firstly, how are you feeling going into that game based on this result? Based on this result, and what changes would you make to the side that started today?
And for the Bayern game?
Yes.
For the side that I played today, I probably would put Martinelli in the starting lineup. I don't, like I said, I don't really feel like the team did too much wrong, especially in that first half. Maybe, like I said, Martinelli, maybe Thomas Partey, because I really want to see a Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard midfield. I feel like that midfield right there is perfect based on like the team that we have, especially with the ability Declan Rice has shown to be a roaming eight. And he doesn't lose any of his defensive acumen. So for me, I feel like that midfield, especially in the Champions League, will also allow us to have more control, which is something that this team needs to have. Because as we saw today, we can be wasteful with our chances, and that has been the biggest difference since the turn of the year, is that us not being wasteful with our chances. So we got to get back to that. Yeah.
So I just ask you simply because time and stuff. What do you think about Arsenal's Premier League no hopes? No, I know a lot of people said we should focus on the Premier League and Champions League would be a massive accomplishment. What are your feelings for any trophies this season based on this result today?
I mean, I'm still confident. I think there's another twist and turn in this the Premier League season. Still 6 games to play. Man City, like we know, are a freaking machine and they can win out. But I just believe something. There's another twist and turn in this season that's going to happen. 6 games, a lot of time to play, and they still got to play Tottenham. Not like I'm begging for a favor from Tottenham, but they've always struggled versus Tottenham. That's a team that's always given Pep Guardiola trouble. Son is a player that's always given them trouble in his time. So I don't think it's written off. Obviously, it's gotten a lot harder. We're no longer in control, but also I feel like sometimes this team plays better when they have a little less pressure when they're chasing. So maybe this gets them back to refocus and realize they can't make another mistake. But hoping for Man City to make a mistake is not a good bet.
Not a good bet at all. But thank you so much, Orlando. It's been brilliant having you on the channel, and let's just hope Arsenal can get back to winning ways and came back to points on Wednesday and on the weekend. Thank you guys so much.